Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to section 18.2. So the last time we were doing contour integrals, and basically just to remind you, we were integrating like this. This theorem 18.11, don't forget it. Very important theorem. That one there. Okay, and then we applied in several examples. We finished that. Now, next thing I want us to look at is what we call Cauchy-Gaussat theorem. Now, this is in two forms. One is for simply connected domains and for multiply connected domains. So, in this section, we shall focus on contour integrals where the contour C is a simple closed curve with positive counterclockwise orientation. Now, when we say simple closed curve, these are some of the definitions I wanted to remind you. Simple, a curve we said is simple if it is not crossing itself. It is closed if the initial and the terminal points are the same. That's what we mean to a simple closed curve. Okay. Then positive counterclockwise orientation. So a definition: a domain D is said to be simply connected if every simple closed contour C lying in the domain D can be shrunk to a point without leaving D. That is, well, when we say that, what do we mean? Let me see whether I have something to illustrate for you. Maybe this will help to see. So if this is a point inside, and we are around here, we have a curve. If we shrink the curve to a point, we still remain within D. So this is just saying that C enclosing only points of D, or rather, it has no holes. E.g., a disk. When you have a disk, I showed you a disk. Okay, so imagine this is a disk. Imagine I cover this hole. Like this hole is covered. Then this would be a nice one because if you shrink up to this point, assuming this point is inside, there's no hole. Here you can see there's a hole. Then this would be a nice example of what we're talking about. Okay. When we talk about holes, here we'll talk about points of discontinuity. But we don't call them points of discontinuity. We call them points where the function fails to be analytic. Keep it in mind. So a domain is not simply connected if a domain that is not simply connected is called a multiply connected. So simply connected means that it has no points of, what do you mean? There are no points where it fails to be analytic in that curve. Or rather, we're talking about every simple closed contour. Whenever you shrink it, you remain within D. If not, then you have a multiply connected domain. So there's a theorem here. I could just skip it very quickly. I could skip this, but I will not skip. It's the same theorem, but in different forms. So in 1825, this is some quick story. Louis-Auguste Cauchy, he proved that suppose that a function f is analytic in a simply connected domain, no holes, okay, and that the derivative is continuous in the domain. Then for every simple closed contour C in D, the integration over that contour is 0. This is what Cauchy proved that time. Then about almost 60 years later, another man called Edouard Gaussat, these are French guys, proved the same theorem without this condition. Just that f is analytic in this domain, then every simple closed contour, the integral is 0. So here the difference between these two is just this part. So that's why it's called Cauchy-Gaussat, because this man started it, but then this man simplified. So it's Cauchy-Gaussat theorem. Okay? Example number 1. Now this example is very strange. But anyway, fine. So evaluate the integral of e raised to z dz over c, where c is a curve shown. Actually, according to your book, this is not the curve shown. The curve shown looks like 8. Think of it like this. I don't know. Let me see what I can draw for you the curve. Yeah, it's like this. Actually, I'm happy I can do this for you. The curve more or less looks like this in your book. It's close anyway. It's more or less something like this, but it's just that I was not able to draw something that is strange like this. Okay? You see. So, now, Cauchy-Gaussat just says that, you see, when you look at the function f of z, look at this. By Cauchy-Gaussat, the integral of this is 0. Why? Because e raised to z is entire. There is no point of, there's nowhere this function will be will fail to be analytic. It's entire. And C is a simple closed curve. Cauchy-Gaussat says what? Suppose a function is analytic in a simply connected domain D, then every simple closed contour C in D, when you integrate over that contour, you will only get 0. Okay? So that's it. So the integral of that one is 0. We're finished. Next, evaluate the integral of over curve C, dz over z squared, where C is the ellipse. This is the ellipse. Now, here you notice f of z equals 1 over z squared is analytic everywhere in C except when this is 0. At z equals 0, x is 0, y is 0. That means if I plug in 0 into this, what do I get? We get 4, 0 here, you get 4 plus 25, which is, that means this point 0, 0 is not in the ellipse. That's a point where our function will fail to be analytic. But that point is not in the curve we're integrating. So what does that tell you? By Cauchy-Goussard, the integral of this is 0 also, because the point is outside. But within the curve, all the points, I mean, this function is analytic within all those points. So we are okay. Don't forget Cauchy-Goussard, that f is analytic in that domain. So if you pick a simple closed curve in that domain, as long as f is analytic there's no problem. Okay? Good. Number 1, number 2. Number 3. Very nice. Now here we are talking about Cauchy-Goussard for multiply connected domains. Actually, here I can give you the general theorem. Let me give you this particular theorem, then I go to the general theorem, then we look at examples. So suppose this is a doubly connected domain. Now, here we're saying doubly connected means that actually something like this. Something like this means that the domain, something outside, these two curves, you have the curve C and then it contains the curve C1. So C and C1 are simple closed contours such that C1 surrounds the hole. This is the hole. C1 is surrounding the hole. The point where F will fail to be analytic, that's what we call the hole. In D, D is more or less imagined somewhere in this curve, wherever it belongs. And C1 is the interior of C. C1 is inside, you see this C1 is inside C. Suppose a function f is analytic on each contour, basically on C and C1, and at each point interior to C. Each point inside here, but exterior to C1. That means it's not analytic inside here. Then the integral over C is the same as the integral over C1. And the simple reason for that is just to say that here, if you are looking at this, then here we are okay. Because as long as we integrate here, we don't go inside C1, then we'll be talking about the integral over this curve, the same as the integral over this other one. And we can check the proof, but I don't need to look at the proof. Now this is a more specific theorem, but I don't know whether I'm supposed to look at an example yet, or I'll give you the general version. Okay, I've skipped that. I've just come to this slide just to tell you this is a general version of that theorem. In your book, they call it general theorem 18.22. Well, is that good to jump? Maybe we should not jump. Maybe we should do an example. Okay, I go back to the example. So this is a theorem which is, they don't say it clearly in the book, they just mention it. But later on, you have the general version. I'm just showing you in slide 22. So example for this. Evaluate the integral of dz over z minus I over c, where c is the contour shown below. Now you know the contour shown below is this one. Well, this is an interesting contour, by the way. Here. Wow, this is a nice example. So basically C is this. This curve is C. I'm calling it C. And this one is C1. Now, what do I want you to notice first? I want you to notice at z equals I, note that z equals I is the whole. Meaning what? That f of z fails to be analytic at z equals I, simply because it will be 0. Okay? So if we take R to be 1, then we have C1 containing the whole. So the strategy here requires you that when you have C and there's a hole, then what you need is a curve that contains the whole, and then you integrate along that curve. So in this case, what we'll do is we are here. We have this is our C, okay, this is our curve C, but then the whole is at I. Remember our function f of z equals 1 over z. At z equals I, it fails to be analytic. So we take this radius. We take a radius of 1. This is 0, 1, or rather minus 1, minus 2. This is minus 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, 2. 0, 1. 0, 1. So this is a circle. The center is I, the whole. So we have C1. We can integrate along this curve. And then we are done. So that's what we do here. So we apply The integral over c is the same as the integral over c1. So we need to see what is our c1. So what is our c1? c1 is a circle of radius 1. The center is I. That is, modulus of z equals I equals 1. Now, this you can write in parametric form as z minus I equals IET. Remember, the radius is 1. And so, lie between 0 and 2 pi. So now we can differentiate z. Dz will just be, you differentiate this, you just give you I, E, I, T, dt. And then you integrate. So the integral of this will just be integration of our C1, which is 0 to 2 pi. What? Dz, what is our dz? I, E, I, T, dt. That's numerator. And then z minus I is IET dt. Now this IET cancels out the IET, you just get I and then this dt. When you integrate this, you just get t, you substitute the interval, you get 2 pi times I is 2 pi I. That's it. This thing that looks very complicated, this curve, all you just integrate this one and you are done. So what is the strategy? Once again, just to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the strategy is to pick, when you have a curve you're integrating, and then it has a point of a hole where the function fails to be analytic, you surround that hole with another curve, as long as that curve is entirely inside the curve you had before and it contains the hole. That's it. So, question is, could you have taken a bigger circle than this one? Maybe you can take something, but now the units will be ugly. You cannot take 2 because it will be outside here. But maybe 1.5, something like that. But those will be ugly. But it will still give you the same thing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with that example. Now, let's see whether we can say something else before we go to the next example. So, I just say, okay, I just take this and then I stop. That there's a proposition. What does it say? If z naught is any complex constant interior to any simple closed contour C, then the integral over C, that's over C, dz over z minus z naught power n is 2 pi I or 0. N equals 1, n naught equals 1. Now, notice, just before I go, here we got the solution is 2 pi I. You have a hole, okay? If you don't have a hole, you have 0. If you don't have a hole, you have 0. Or you can isolate the hole. So that's basically what this summarizes. This is an exercise which we can do. Actually, it would be nice for you to check. The next thing I will do when I come back is this example, and then we'll finish. I think we'll have time to finish. So let me take a break there, then I come back shortly.